This is Justin AMZN on Friday, September 7th, and the market's still open. Uh, there's about half an hour left to the day, but I've got to do the video now because of some scheduling conflict later. We are really consolidating into the close. It looked like there was going to be a bit of a rollover, but it just kind of paused here. It hasn't really taken out the low. It'd be great if it took out the low or if it pushed it higher. But with the massive pullback, and it's not even that big of a pullback, just with the pullback we've seen the last couple of days, I would not be surprised if it just grinded sideways into the close. And we can review that on Monday to see what it actually does. So I just want to take a look at a couple of things going on in here, though. This is the 5 minute today. Had a gap down, and then a tiny little wick down, and then the rest has been getting bought up until about 10:30, which is usually sort of a reversal time in the day. Had a really nice stair step here, had another really nice stair step here. And if you look, as I'm swirling my cursor around here, it's doing the same thing down here on the 1950 call, and it's doing the same thing over here on the 1975 put expiring today. And what's really neat about that is you can look at the range on these and see, well, is that the option I should get in? Is that, what area should I get in? Should I wait for a breakout? What's actually happening there? So this stair step broke out and then retested with this candle and again on this candle into that stair step range and then continued on higher. So if you look at that in here, this stair step broke out, retested. This is that bearish candle with the lower wick, came down to a low of 962. The stair step had a low around 670. So, we're looking for a buck. That's not it. So I'm going to jump all the way up to this 1975 call and see what that does in the same area. So I think I zoomed in wrong. Sorry. Let's see. There we go. Okay. I think I was missing that candle. All right. Yep. There you go. So got bought up, stair step in this area, broke out, came back. And now the low here is about $1. Yeah, is about $1. The low here was 72. So you could actually do an absolute zero, $1 by zero, or you could do like maybe you wouldn't get filled at one. This is 109. Maybe you do 125 by, or maybe 115 by 65 and get it underneath here, and you can get two of them. And that moved higher. So every 50 cents then is another R, 75, 225, 275. So, you would have been up a few R if you just held back up into this range, maybe gone for 365, sorry, 1075. If you got in at 115, then 165, 215, 265. 315, 365. Maybe you had a target 365. That's 4R. So that's a huge move back up into this, and it didn't even get there yet. It just grinded on up. But a really nice way to play a continuation here, higher. And then once it got up here, and let's take a look at puts because let me zoom back out. Oh, I could zoom all the way out. Let's max this out. Okay, this level is a retest at a nice round number, 1975, of this low and then this breakdown from yesterday. So we had the low here, right around 1975, and then stair step all through here, and then a breakdown through the 1975 price. So if you look at that as your level you're coming back up to and a nice round number, on these bigger moves, I'm looking for bigger, nice round numbers on these. So we had kind of didn't quite get down to 1950, and then we were just jogging right around it through here. Came back up, didn't quite make it up to 1975. Yeah, it didn't make it up that high yesterday at all. But anyway, it made it up there today, and then totally just slowed down and then rolled over. And so if you're waiting for the rollover and then a retest, that would have been getting on this candle at 1045. If we jump back in to the put, so this is 1975 put. So that candle had not that candle had a low of 730, or I'm sorry, this had a high of 8 and a low on this candle of 440. So that's way too wide. So let's switch this up again. Let's go down to the 1950 put and see, is there any way to get that to work in our favor? Just go to the next big number, big round number, 1950. So we're 1045. So we're just going sideways through here, really small. And, this is under $1 already. So, I mean, had you just bought in on any of these candles, it actually didn't get moving bearish and increase in the premium until around here. Started to go higher there, made it up to 1. And then this went up, retraced, and then this candle, that's your high, get above 4. But you could have done another absolute zero, $1 by 0, made a couple of R up here, or maybe the 1950 wasn't the right one to go with. Maybe 1960. It's just hard to pick which one exactly. I always like looking for an absolute zero. But would you have gotten the signal? No. The low on the high on this one is 220. So you could have done 220 by 120, maybe. Maybe 220 by 120. And so, the low here was, the low here is 7 on that candle. So that would have worked. So we had to do like 2 by 1. And, I guess maybe that could work. So 2 by 1, that made it up initially on the pullback to $6. And then on this one, if you had held through, up to 9. So a 2 by 1 could have worked with a 1960 rollover. And I like that better because that option is a little bit closer. 1960 is where we were doing the stair step here. It's not like you're going to not necessarily get all the way back into the money on 1950. But it did come back to, then did rally up to this nice level and then rolled over again. Didn't roll over as far, so from here down, it went all the way to the 1930s, 1935, I think. And then this one rolled over and just has been chopping around sort of in the middle of this level to this level. And I don't have any more lines on here. I was looking, it's like, why didn't I draw any more? Back here, it just really moved really quickly. What's really interesting is back on this day, which was 828, the highs in here were in the high 1930s, actually up into 1940. And that's how far we came down yesterday on that pullback into the high 1930s. And so that's the only other place we could have had, like 1940 there. That's the only other place we could have had a line, I guess, drawn in, just because it just rallied. It just ran up to 1990, 2000 on that next day. So there wasn't very much in here to draw another line when we already had one down in 1925. So with that said, it's almost obvious that the opportunity was there for it to roll over so quickly, so easily. There was nothing really in this range holding it up. And again, today, there's not as much moving it around other than some lines from yesterday for it to interact with. So it looks like we're getting a little bit of a rollover. Looks like this is starting to break down. If we look at the put, so the 1960 put is making a little bit. If we go look at the 1950 put, so this one's a little further away. Excuse me. So we're $5 away from being in the money. Excuse me. And this is at like $50 or 50 cents. So it's possible you could buy 50 by 0, absolute 0, and get a run up to 1 or 2. If this actually goes in the money, so if this actually comes back down, goes into the money, and gets back into that stair step range, that's when you look to get out. But this is a really long consolidation, so you are definitely taking that risk on the last half hour with just so much chop today that, looking for it to just roll over like that. So I still like the idea of this just hovering through here and getting kind of a fresh look at it on Monday to see what it's going to do. But this is definitely lower highs, some higher lows. It's definitely another triangle, and I love seeing triangles on here, like this triangle that broke down. This triangle actually broke up. This triangle, as we know, this was the big one that broke down and rolled over again. So we could still roll over. It'd be nice to hit 1925 on the daily here. That's our next line. That was an all-time high. And I don't think it's going to roll back that far in the next half hour or next 22 minutes. But if we get another little bit of a pullback, I mean, this was a one black crow. It's a signal to go lower. We went way lower. This is an inside candle. This is definitely a pause. People think, oh, now is the time to get in. Let's pull back. If it pulls back some more, that's why we got some more of these lines in here that worked before. If we pull back into this consolidation, that's a really good signal that, okay, we're going to go sideways a little longer. We're going to consolidate and actually just go sideways for longer. If we get below 1900, then we're into this consolidation range. And we haven't really pulled back into one of those in a while. Maybe this one. This one. Yeah, this is the only time we really pulled back into another area that was going a little bit sideways here. So if we do that again, I mean, we're just still so high. Great for it to just pause for a little while and just chop around in a channel and give us some easier trades if we're going up and down and some bigger targets. I can get rid of some of these lines though too. So we'll continue to take a look at it and see what happens, but jump back into the 5 minute. Guess we'll see. Maybe this is going to roll over during the day here. And I guess I'm not going to be able to see it and do the review on it. So hope you enjoyed this video and some things here made sense. And we will look and see what this option, yeah, it's just, the problem is the market makers want to pull all the premium out of this, but the stock movement is forcing some premium back in. And so it's going to hover at that 50 cent or lower as this is even starting to roll over. And even as it gets closer to in the money, it's really hard in the last half hour, last 20 minutes of the day, to figure out, okay, what's the right option to be in? What's the value to get in at and to get out at for your target? And really easy to be whipsawed. So if you're trading this, just be really careful that, you just need to really limit that risk so you know exactly what it's going to be. And your account has the right size that if you do end up in the money, your account can handle it. Because if it closes in the money, you don't get a fill, you don't get out. You got to watch this. You got to go with market orders sometimes just to get out. And you got to have real nerves of steel to be able to do that. So practice that. This time on a Friday is a really good time to be practicing that, not to have just been jumping in for the first time. So I hope that's something that helps. Anyway, this is Justin AMZN, and we'll be back next week. Thanks.